Hi, this is TechNut, and welcome to the Tech News Hour, here on Switch Brisbane. On tonight's show, car features as a subscription service, chess robot rage quits, Discord's on its way to Xbox, and we check out a mashup of two classic Aussie TV ads. All that and more right here now on the Tech News Hour on Switch Brisbane. Connected car companies now charge owners to use physical hardware they already bought and paid for, but some are pushing back. There's been a bit of a backlash to the news that BMW will now charge owners a subscription to use heated seats in their cars if they weren't paid for as an option when the car was purchased new. The German carmaker has been putting extra features, like high beam assist, behind a paywall for a couple of years now, and you pay to access the pre-installed software feature. But heated seats are hardware. The pads are integrated into the seat during production. There's wiring and there's switches. And to top it all off, drivers have already bought and own the physical kit in the car when they purchase the car brand new. The hardware will not benefit from software updates or regular over-the-air updates. What you're paying for is the ability to turn it on. The idea of paying to use something that's already physically there is rank. Like low-cost airline CEO Michael O'Leary's suggestion, he'd charge £1 to use the toilet on Ryanair flights. BMW's move looks like a simple way to raise revenue. In the UK, BMW has priced heated seats at £15, or about $18 a month. That's ridiculous for something that you already paid for in the first place. But the modding community's already out there, looking to find a way to turn them on anyway. This is TechNut with the Tech News Hour, here on Switch Brisbane. Discord voice chats are finally coming to Xbox consoles, but it's complicated. Starting today, those enrolled in Microsoft's Xbox Insider beta program can test the functionality of Discord before it's rolled out to a wider audience starting later this year. The feature allows Discord users on Xbox, PC, and mobile to join the same voice channel, making it easier to communicate when playing cross-platform titles like Halo Infinite. That said, the integration isn't as seamless as simply downloading Discord on your Xbox. For now, it's not the most elegant process. Still something Discord users have been waiting for the company to add since it first announced Xbox integration in 2018. The integration may also offer a glimpse on how Sony plans to add Discord voice chat to its PlayStation consoles as well. Discord did not say exactly when voice chat would be available to all players, though the feature is expected to arrive sometime later this year. This is after Microsoft's failed purchase attempt of Discord earlier. Also in gaming news, Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered PC Edition. The pre-order for that has gone live. Marvel's remastered version is finally making its way to the PC after a 4-year-long period of being a PlayStation exclusive title. This August it should be out. The pre-order is live now on Steam and Epic Games. It's developed by Insomniac Games. It was released as a PS4 exclusive in 2014. The game skipped the all too familiar origin story of Peter Parker and set the story 8 years into his life as the friendly neighborhood web-slinger. This game should run great on most modern hardware, from the 4th gen Intel i-series chips and above, and any GPU from the 960 series or 1060 series and up. This will give you medium details with really good frame rates. It also supports ray tracing now on 20 and 30 series NVIDIA cards and 6900 AMD cards. Price is about $60 US on Steam, so about $85-90 Australian. This is TechNut with the Tech News Hour, here on Switch Brisbane. If you travel regionally and find your phone's a little weak at holding a signal, Telstra's Blue Tick program is a service where Telstra check various phones for signal strength and quality, and the best get the Blue Tick. Now, this isn't an ad for Telstra, as these same handsets will also benefit you when used on Telstra reseller networks such as Boost, and because a lot of the 4G and 5G frequencies are shared between the different network variants, will help purchasers of these phones on other networks as well. Originally, testing was only performed on their 3G network, but in recent years, voice calls across their 4G LTE service has become part of the process, with Samsung's Galaxy S8 being the first 4G phone to receive the Blue Tick in 2017. If you want to get every bit of coverage you can and the most out of your phone, here's a couple of tips. Hold your phone as light as possible. How you hold your phone matters a lot. So next time you're trying to make a call on the edge of coverage, try not to squeeze the life out of your phone. Also, if you turn on the Wi-Fi calling, it will use your home's Wi-Fi network to send the data that normally goes through the mobile phone network for the call through your internet connection. This can help if you're in a bit of a sketchy spot. The other things you can try is using either a wired or a wireless headset, like a Bluetooth headset, with your phone so that you can have your phone placed a bit higher up where you do get signals so you can walk around a little bit. And if you can distance yourself from the handset while you're making your call this way, it can also help with the signal so that your body isn't blocking the signal as well. It looks like most of the phones that have been blue ticked this year are Samsung phones. So the Galaxy A33 5G, which is a mid-range handset, is blue tick certified with the quad cameras, 128 gig of storage, 5 amp hour battery, and it retails about $500 for most retailers. There is a cheaper option that Telstra sell even through their prepaid channels, which is the Telstra Smart 4. It's a 3G and 4G only phone, so it's a bit more basic. But as it is blue tick certified, you can buy for $109, and it is worth having either as a backup handset or while traveling so that you can use the hotspot feature for your other hardware and your other gadgets. This is TechNut with the Tech News Hour here on Switch, Brisbane. Half the internet died while you were sleeping and you didn't even notice. Here's what happened. An outage of Cloudflare's servers caused a slew of websites and services to go down, including big names such as Discord, DoorDash, League of Legends, the game, other affected websites including Crunchyroll, Amazon Web Services, some Google services, NordVPN, Coinbase, some of the dating apps, and many more. The online security company was quick to identify what the problem was and then rectify it, getting these services back up and running, but it was a chaotic few minutes there. If you're a bit lax with your passwords, say you reuse them in many places, a website called Have I Been Pwned, that's spelt Have I Been Pwned, is worth a visit. On there, if you type your email address in, it will let you know if any of the sites that you've signed up to in the past have been compromised, and this will also list which services that your email address was found on so that you can go through and get your password changed. If there's one password to have different compared to all other services, it's your email account. Because once compromised, gaining access to other services is pretty easy with the I forgot my password option on most websites, as these link a reset code back to your email. Also, enabling two-factor authentication on most services and keeping your recovery information correct will make attacks a lot harder in the future. Speaking of attacks, bit of a strange one, a chess robot in Russia had grabbed a finger of a 7-year-old opponent and broken it. The Moscow incident occurred because the child violated safety rules by taking the turn too quickly, says officials. According to Russian media outlets, a chess-playing robot, apparently unsettled by the quick response of a 7-year-old boy, unceremoniously grabbed and broke his finger during a match at the Moscow Open. There are certain safety rules, and the child apparently violated them. When he made his move, he did not realize he first had to wait, Smagan said. This is an extremely rare case. The first I can recall, he added. Too bad if these robots become sentient, we're screwed. This is TechNut with the Tech News Hour here on Switch Brisbane. We'll be back after the break. Apple's MacBook Air M2 model has launched and has big shoes to fill because the previous MacBook Air, the M1 version, was already one of the best compact laptops of the last 2 years, with a completely redesigned chassis, which was developed for Apple's own M2 processor. The new model changes the look of the MacBook Air to look more like the MacBook Pro and getting away from the wedge shape, even though it physically has about the same footprint. The new display now supports the larger P3 color gamut like with the larger MacBook Pro models, and the panel is brighter. You get the new speakers, which are pretty loud. There's also a 1080p webcam, and this will be a bonus for a lot of people. The MagSafe connector is returned. That's the connector that if you trip over the cable, it breaks away from the laptop without dragging the laptop onto the ground. However, the new model has a bit of a higher starting price now of $11.99 for the base model with 8GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. It's a nice looking unit, but I would spec the 512 gig SSD variant just because the 256 gig variant has half the SSD chips on the board, making it slower in response time compared to the old M1 version. In the Windows world, the Dell XPS 13 is still the go-to equivalent to the MacBook Air, with the same great sounding speakers, comparable pricing, and also a really good keyboard and trackpad experience. Also on hardware, Google's budget phone delivers the same smarts as its bigger cousin, with a lower price. After skipping Australia last year, Google has announced its budget smartphone series will return to our shores next week, with the Google Pixel 6a due to hit store shelves this Thursday. A phone that's functionally and aesthetically very similar to Google's $1,000 Pixel 6, just missing some hardware tricks, but coming in at about $250 cheaper. The $750 6A is just a smidge smaller than the 6, swaps out the glass panel for a glossy plastic one on the back, which is a happy result for me, as dropping phones is a thing. And while a naked phone feels good in the hand, we all put cases on our phones anyway. What's missing is the wireless charging, the higher refresh rate screen, the extra RAM, and laser autofocus and zoom lens are both also missing, while sharing most other features with the 6 and being priced comparably to Apple's iPhone SE. This is TechNut with the Tech News Hour here on Switch Brisbane. Let's build a gaming PC. Okay, if you game single screen like most of us, your gaming PC setup doesn't have to be overboard. Check this out, for under $2,000, what I've spec'd here is priced on average between Yuma, MSY and Game Dude. So what we've got, for the CPU, I went with the AMD Ryzen 5 5600X, which is a 6-core CPU. They're about $325 at the moment. They come in the box with the cooler, which is more than adequate for the job. Because it's an AMD platform, the B550 chipset, quite capable on these CPUs. Still DDR4 because it's the AIM4 platform. You're looking at about 120 to 130 for the board. For memory, we went with two 8GB sticks from Crucial, the 3200 megahertz sticks. Two of those, so 16GB all up, about $78. For storage, we've got a 500GB NVMe drive, either the Crucial P1 or the Samsung 970 EVO. They're around about the $90 mark. This is the one that you'd put your Windows and games on. Then you have a $75 2TB 3.5-inch drive to do bulk storage from your games and your movies and other things that you've downloaded. For the GPU, I went with the Asus or MSI RTX 3060 12GB card. These are now under $600. For the case, pretty much anything will work because we're not too interested in what the case is as long as everything fits. Power supply, however, Silverstone or Cooler Master, anything around about the 750 watt mark or higher. Don't buy a cheapy power supply, so budget around $150 for your power supply. Cheap power supplies crash your system and they tend to have issues. For your monitor, AOC 27-inch full HD FreeSync, so it does 144 hertz, 229 they can be had for at the moment, and they come in red. Keyboards and mice, the choice is yours. Same with headsets. Budget around 150 for your headset, keyboard and mouse, and then you've pretty much just got your Windows license. On top of that, it's getting someone to put it together for you. Priced up, you're looking at about $18.90 for that, and for $10.80, it is more than adequate. If you're going a second-hand machine, go something with at least an i7 from a 4th gen CPU and your video card at least a 1060. Around that sort of era, you'll be gaming like a monster. These things are great. Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/TechNutRadio. I'll have the specs listed up there as well as all other articles that I've used tonight. This is TechNut with the Tech News Hour here on Switch Brisbane. Here's something cool I found on the internet last week. Hot off the back of the news earlier this year that Vegemite and SPC had joined forces to create Vegemite-flavoured baked beans. Maybe not something that's for everyone. I mean, I don't even like baked beans. But this time they shared news of the release of their new dance track, which is a mashup of their emblematic jingles, at least here in Australia, of the Happy Little Vegemite jingle and the SPC's Happy Little Human Beings jingle.
Baked beans are delicious, spaghetti tastes as good they say. Just roll along and sing along all day. So it seems, 'cause your SPC baked beans, spaghetti, little here.
Both jingles were earworms in their own days, coming out in the 50s and 60s, but they've now been brought together and remixed by renowned Australian DJ and music producer Andy Murphy to create the ultimate Aussie mashup. Let's have a listen. And then it goes on to repeat itself over and over. I don't think it's going to become a dance floor smash hit. It's interesting to listen to the first time at least. This is TechNut. Thank you for joining me tonight on the Tech News Hour. I'll catch you here next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. On Switch 1197 Brisbane, DAB+, and all digital platforms. You can contact the show, facebook.com/technutradio, to leave a comment, suggestions on the show, and to check out the show notes, and references are available on the TechNut Radio Facebook page. I'll catch you next week. Bye.